is we've already at this point created an account and have a profile with John Public. Um, and with John Public, he also has access to a club uh, that he has permissions to, okay, under managed clubs. All right. We're going to start off as if this is a brand new coming into the system for the first time this year. John had his club last year. He's coming in this year. And as you can see by the red dots, he has no background check and no safe sport. So, and no membership as a wrestling leader. These three things we have to have before we can renew our club charter and be the director. So I'm going to go to profiles. Under go to profiles, I can see the profile. I can see my picture in there, all of that stuff. I can click on the name or click on the manage profile. And from there, it's going to give me a couple of options as I look at my profile. I'll see under background check, I'll see that it says get background check. And I'll also see under the Safe Sport certification that it says access Safe Sport courses. Okay. I will start with my background check. As I click the button to get background check, it will open up a new window in which I will go in then as me and fill out the information for myself that I need to get my background check and get that thing started. Okay. As you fill out that information, you will then submit it into NCSI, which is our background check provider, and it will take you anywhere from 3 to 10 days. I think it's 3 to 4 days on average to get the result back, but it can be up to 10 days. So make sure that you're doing this in plenty of time before tournaments or club practices or anything of that nature. Once you have your background check is back, as that is going through the process of getting approved, you can then access your Safe Sport courses, okay? As you access your Safe Sport courses, it will give you the information on what the units are and what's taking place with the course. And then when you continue the Safe Sport training, it will allow you to go and start and manage your Safe Sport trained courses, okay? As you go through, you'll see that there's a load course button beside the Safe Sport trained. When I click it, it will automatically launch me over into Safe Sport and go ahead, rather than last year and in previous years where you had to create an account over there and do things, it's now native to us. So by clicking the button, it will launch the screen and allow you to start taking that course immediately within the system. Okay? At the completion of the course, both the background checks and Safe Sport communicate back to the membership system, and they will start to go through the process of getting your background check and Safe Sport approved. And then both your background check and your Safe Sport will turn green. Okay? In both cases, I get emails, you will get emails that notify you that the background checks and Safe Sport have been updated inside the membership system and allowing you to come back through, and then you're allowed to purchase your membership. Okay? You can see that John Public had a 1-year wrestling leader last year that's expired. I can go to renew that now. I'm going to renew the wrestling leader. I'm going to select his profile. And as I do that, it now gives me the options to purchase a 1-year high performance or a 1-year wrestling leader membership. The 2-year memberships are no longer allowed on the site due to the fact that every year you have to take the Safe Sport course or the refresher, depending on what you need. And so with that, we can only do the 1-year memberships at this time. Okay. After you select your type, you are allowed to say, are you going to be a coach, official, or coach and official? Okay. For this, I'm going to be a coach. I can affiliate with my club if I need to. I'm already affiliated with my test RTC, so I'm not going to do that yet. I can purchase extra things. I acknowledge the box, and then I can save and continue. Okay. That will take you on to do your additional membership options, but you can just say no thanks and go directly to your cart, and you'll see that you have your membership sitting in your cart ready to be purchased. All right. Once that membership is purchased, you will be able to go into manage clubs. And now you'll be able to start managing your club, okay? Now, for most people, this club hasn't been purchased before. If you're renewing your club, this button, instead of buy now, will say renew now. But also, if you go into your club, you'll be able to start that process. Okay? So under the renew, you're able to go in and fill out your contact information. You can click on the boxes in order to update any of your contact information. You can update the club director if you needed to. As a reminder, any club directors or anything that you deal with in this manner has to have a current Wrestling Leader membership to be a club director. You acknowledge the fact that you have the waivers, that you acknowledge everything inside the waivers. You can make the club contact information available on the mat.com. And making that available on the mat.com, that means that any of our Find the Club that's on the mat.com or inside the membership system, when people are looking for clubs to join, your club would be listed. If you uncheck that box, it'll take it off the list so that people aren't contacting you trying to reach out to your club or anything of that nature. Okay? Once taken care of there, you can hit Renew Club, and it will add the club to your cart, at which time you can create a new insured if you have additional insureds that you needed to create. What's the association to the school? Some address. The email that's receiving the certificate. This is important because when the certificates are sent, the certificates will be sent to the email that you list here for insured. That way you can get your correct certificate of insurance from the company. And as I add that insured, I'll see now that I have 2 items in my cart. And if I click on my cart, I'll see that I have my test club charter, and I also have my additionally insured that's sitting in there for this club. Okay. I can at that point in time click to purchase and purchase my club charter. Once that's taken care of, I can go back to manage clubs, and I'll see that the status now says manage club. Okay, so now when I go under my club, I'm able to see that I have additionally insured entities. I can download my current club charter. And what that looks like right there. So that way you could print this off, post it in your room, whatever you needed to do, show it to your administrations, whatever. And that gets your club renewed, okay? Okay. So now moving forward after the renewal, the new features that are inside the club admin, first thing you can do is you can come in and add a club logo. So as you go into your club, you can now update with logos for your club. When you upload your logo for the club, this will get approved by USA Wrestling in the office to make sure that there's nothing copywritten or any kind of inflammatory things on the logo that need to be taken into account. Once it's approved, that logo will show up across the website. So whenever you're looking at your club on the mat.com or on the membership system, you'll start to see that logo will start to show up along the way, okay, as you do things. All right. Now, on this dashboard that you have for your club, you have that same ability to go to contact and update their contact information. You can always update the club director if it changes. Just again, remember, must be a wrestling leader. Okay. Down at the bottom of the screen, you've got, of your dashboard, you've got a couple of windows here. You've got wrestling leaders, and then you've got non-USAW members. Your wrestling leaders allows you to see the number of current wrestling leaders that are inside of your club, and the non-USAW members are the number of people who have yet to get membership this year. Okay. Um, so moving forward, you've got a couple of things here on non-USAW members. You've got everyone in your club at the start of the season will be moved over into that non-USAW members, and then as they start to purchase membership for the current year, they will filter out into either the wrestlers or a wrestling leader box, whatever that may be. Always across the board, we have print card buttons. That's the number one question that's asked of our support staff is, how do I print cards? You will see all over the site these buttons for print cards. They'll be on your dashboard. They'll be on each of the individual pages for the wrestlers and for the wrestling leaders. They're on just about everything you got, okay? They're on your receipts and so on. Now, next, as I go to these pages, I can click on the numbers under the boxes, and that will take me to the appropriate page to see who's the member. So you can see that John Public is a current wrestling leader. You can see that he has his green lights. You can see his certifications, email, all of his contact information is right there for you. Okay. As you go in here on each of the wrestling leader pages and non-USAW member pages, there are export buttons where you can export out the data so that if you need to keep it or hand it in your roster to an administrator or anything like that, you could do so. Also, again, print card buttons on all these pages, okay? So with your wrestling leader member, this guy's already taken care of, so we're gonna go to non-USAW members. Under non-USAW members, this will list everybody that's affiliated with your club, that has been approved affiliated with your club by your club and by the profile. And we'll talk about how you get people affiliated in a minute. All right, and as they are here, this just means that they don't have membership currently. So there's a couple of options here. You can purchase their membership or contact them and have them purchase their membership, and then they start filtering through, okay? So a couple things to note. The system does check all credentials to make sure that the person is eligible for membership. So if I have a person and I'm going to her athlete and Jill needs to have her Say Sport, it's going to stop you and let you know that Jill must complete her Say Sport before she can purchase her membership. Okay. By the same token, if I tried to purchase a wrestling leader for Jill, it's going to tell me that her background check is required and her Say Sport is required before she can purchase a wrestling leader membership. Coming soon is going to be a button that you can click here that would just go ahead and notify her, that would notify Jill the wrestler and let her know what she needed to do and how she could take care of it inside the system. Okay. Now, if people do have everything they need as you go through, you can go purchase. I can purchase a wrestling leader here on behalf of Jair Alexander, and I can add that to my cart, and I'll see that that's sitting there in my cart ready to be purchased. Okay. I'm also going to go ahead and add a wrestler here. So Rebecca Ball here does not need a background or Say Sport. So I can go ahead and add her wrestling athlete membership to the cart. And I'll see that I have these two items sitting in my cart that then I could purchase on behalf of them. Okay. So if you're a club that's doing purchasing of your athletes' memberships, you could take care of it from your club admin right there as a one-off. And so I'm going to show you also how to do an upload to do it in bulk in just a few. Okay. One of the newest things with inside of your club admin is the ID numbers are linkable that are out to the side of the profiles. When you click on one of them, it'll allow you to update certain information about that individual. So I can't update the grayed out areas of who they're claimed by or what their name is and date of birth, but I can update their email address, their contact information, and that sort of thing. Okay, so that'll allow me to update information on my club members as I go. You have little Johnny comes in, he has a new address because they moved. You can get that updated for him. Any of that stuff that takes place, you can get that taken care of. You can also upload their profile pictures here if you needed to. I'm going to do that now just to show you. And again, any profile pictures within the site will also be approved by USA Wrestling. And so those things, we prefer to have a white or gray background with a headshot that's zoomed in enough to see the person, kind of like your wallet driver's license card. Okay. A couple other things you can edit on a profile is bio details. The bio details are their high school, graduation year, nearest airport, a lot of their sizes for their gear, along with some other bio questions there. The main things that I could see here is if you're a club and you are purchasing gear, I would want to update, make sure that their information was correct on their sizes. That way, as you ran you could run reports and get out your club's sizes, so that when you were doing an order for the following year or for new gear coming in, you would know what size you needed, so you could make sure that you had the right numbers in those sizes, that sort of thing. Okay. And then of course you got history, where you can always check the history of that profile and see when they were a member, what their membership was, and if it was current. Okay. Now, all this information that you're able to edit here, the individual wrestler or parent can update themselves by creating an account on the membership system, making sure they've claimed their profile, and then they can update these bio details, and their contact information for you to save you some of that work. Okay, so it's always best to try and let the parent or the wrestler update their information, and then from there, depending on the age of the wrestler, and then from there, you just help maintain that data, and that way you have it ready to go for you. Okay. So I've got a couple of wrestlers that we had in our cart that are already taken care of. They've been purchased. So as I go back to my club admin, I can see that I now have a wrestlers tab, which will show me my current wrestlers. In that, Rebecca Ball is the current wrestler, the one that we put in our cart just a little while ago. I could upgrade her account if she was a limited and needed to go to a full or a high performance membership was available. I could do that. If it's a traditional membership, the upgrade wouldn't show there. Okay, but you can also purchase upgrades for them as well. Wrestling leaders, we now see that Jair Alexander is now under my wrestling leaders as a current member. So now I know who's current in my club, who still needs to get their membership. I can help manage those people as they start to come into the club for the new year. That's the way to check, to have your membership sitting right there for you, to be able to deal with those wrestlers, wrestling leaders, and your non-USAW members. Okay. Now, as you go through this site, on the front end of things, if you have someone that's new coming into your club that is not currently a member, that you need to check and see if they're not affiliated with your club, we have a couple of ways for you to do this. I want to show you the first way outside of the club, and then we'll talk about the other as we get into check-ins. Okay. So if I'm trying to verify their membership, I can go into resources, verify membership, and then I can either search by their number, and then I can see that they're a current member, see what their levels are, everything I need to see there. Or I can search by their name and state. And that'll also give me that data that I can search to verify someone's a member if I was looking to see if this guy was a member so he could come to practice today or join my club or anything that needed to happen there. That's for people who are not affiliated with your club. Okay? Now, as I go back into my club admin, I'm going to be able to see that in a couple of different ways as we get into check-ins. Okay? But I want to first go to our uploads. Under uploads, this is where you can do bulk changes to your club, whether it be information changes, additions to your club, or if you're just trying to make sure that you get the memberships for the people that need to be in your club. Okay, downloading your club file will download everyone that's in your club. You can download a blank file, and that would just be a blank file with just the basics of information on it. Let's get that opened up for you. There we go. So it just gives you just the headers that you need. And these headers are always here and need to be filled out. I'll show you exactly what needs to be in those headers in just a second here. Okay. There's this downloaded field explanations. All the headers you saw in that blank file are explained inside of this PDF as to what's required, what's not, and what the format is as far as what needs to be in there. Okay. If you supply a profile that does not have a USAW ID number, then it will create that profile for you. The headers do need to remain at the top of the page of that spreadsheet. Don't remove them. If you delete a column that is required, you would get errors from the system. It would tell you that certain things were missing. So all these headers should be there. You can just fill them out as needed based on this document. Okay. Once you have a spreadsheet that's filled out, let's see. I'm going to open up a test one for you. Once you have a spreadsheet that's filled out with data, meaning USAW ID numbers if they exist, what types of memberships they are, their email, their names, that sort of stuff, I can then go into the system and upload this straight into the uploads. Okay, go and choose file, choose my spreadsheet I just filled out, and then upload. It's going to do a couple things. It's going to run through. It's going to create profiles that need to be created. It's going to add memberships to my cart that need to be done, that need to be taken care of. And it's also going to give me errors. Errors are going to tell me that on row 2, membership create, because that couldn't happen because that was already purchased. That was Rebecca Ball from earlier. And it's also going to give me alerts so that I know that these guys need SafeSport training, so they can't be purchased or dealt with until then. Okay. It does create the profile for you. It does update the profile for you. It was just not able to purchase membership because of their SafeSport training. Okay. So once those things are taken care of, you could re-upload the spreadsheet and these would get taken care of as well. Okay. Those guys would be sitting in my cart now, ready for me to purchase. Okay. Now, as I'm sitting there under my uploads, I would see now that I start to see that these guys start filtering in as they're purchased into my wrestlers. Under wrestlers, you can start seeing how they're into the system. Okay. Now, with this, because I did an upload, it went ahead and affiliated the person with my club and went ahead and approved them, since I was purchasing their membership, to be in my club. Okay. If I have individuals that I need to invite to my club that I want to have access or be able to deal with as part of my club, I can do a one-off add affiliation right here, because maybe this person just showed up to practice and they want to join our club, and so I need to affiliate them, or maybe it's somebody that just didn't know how to get affiliated with the club and I wanted to do it for them. Okay, so I'll come in and say Dawson Mathews. I'm going to add him to the club. And what that did was it just sent Dawson an email saying, hey, Test Club RTC wanted you to join their club. Do you accept, accept or deny? Okay. As you go through that, I'm also going to do Clipper Black so that you can see a couple of things here. So as I go into there, I now see that I have a pending affiliations. This pending affiliations comes through and it tells me who they are, what's needed from them, and it tells me that it's pending approval. Well, as soon as this gets, they approve, they will filter off and go into the wrestlers or wrestling leaders or non-USAW members, whichever category they fall into. Okay, but this just sent an email to them asking them to become a part of your club, and once they approve it, then they're part of your club, and you can manage them just like anyone else inside of your club. Okay. I see Clipper just approved. So now when we go up into wrestlers, we'll see that Clipper is now a part of our club and is listed. So after we've done this, we've got people that are pending. We've got our non-members that we've purchased memberships for that are now wrestlers, wrestling leaders, all that's taken care of. Now we start getting into a couple of new areas that are going to allow you to manage and to update stuff with your club. So as we get into here, we've got these check-ins, schedules, and messaging. Okay. I'm going to first explain the administration, and then we'll come to these three new items that we have for this year. Okay. Under administration, that's where you'll see your positions within the club, and you're able to go into the club and select whoever you want to, whoever is in a current position on your club, what position they may take in the club, and add that position to the club. Okay. These positions get listed with USA Wrestling. So if someone is looking for coaches within our clubs or the directors, whatever they're looking for, those are the positions that we look for inside of clubs, and they're all listed right there for you. Okay. Permissions. Under permissions means who has access to your club to do all the administration tasks that you're seeing me do today. Okay. And so what that is who has the ability to edit and see my club data, renew my club charter for me, who has the ability to manage and deal with all of these things. Okay. We see that we have a new pending over here on a pending. We have two again. So I go back to my pending affiliations, and we see that Tony Black has asked to be affiliated with my club. The same way that I added the affiliation, a wrestler or a profile that's in the system can request that they become a member of your club, and then you have the right to deny with the red X or to approve with the green check mark. Okay. When I approve them, again, it's going to ask me, do I want to approve them for this club? They're approved, and now Tony should show up as a wrestling leader right there for us. Okay. So that's the way the two-way authentication works when you start seeing yourself get requests, and also as you see yourself moving on. Okay. As I'm in pending affiliations, if ever there's someone sitting out there that hasn't approved, that is too late for them to join, or I don't want, I can always say remove, and that will remove them from my club and remove their affiliations so that they no longer show up on my list. That red X is available on any of the screens, and it just unaffiliates them from your club. They would have to request again to be affiliated if they wanted to come back in. Okay. So with administration, you've got positions, you've got permissions, and additionally insureds. All those things are taken into account now. So that's how you manage your total club. And now we get to the new things, which are check-ins, schedule, and the messaging piece. Okay. With check-ins, what check-ins allows you to do is it allows you to create a way to basically take roll of your athletes on any of their cards this year. And I'm going to print off some cards so you can see them. Again, print buttons everywhere. All right, so as I'm here, I can click on those cards, and on all cards that are printed this year, you'll see that there are barcodes that are on all the cards. Okay, those barcodes can be scanned with a $20 scanner from Amazon, as well as we are coming up with a way to do it with your phones. But for now, you can either type in their number, their name, or their do a scan with those barcode readers. When you go into them, that means you can create yourself a check-in, and under that check-in, you can start checking in as many people as you would like into your club. There's two ways to do a check-in. Okay, I'm going to create a new check-in here. Okay, so I've created this check-in demo. All right, with my demo check-in, I have two buttons. I have an entry screen, and then I have a kiosk. Okay. With the entry screen, it's going to allow me to sit here and type out numbers and do check-in one by one if I needed to, or type in names. And check them into my practices. Okay? This could be a practice, this could be a team meeting, this could be any sort of roll call that you would like to do. You'd be able to check them in. Okay? Anytime you need to check them out, you can check them out by doing that. Now, the second way to deal with a check-in is the kiosk mode. Okay, the kiosk mode opens up a screen that opens up into a kiosk and allows you to be able to scan your individual card numbers. And when you scan them in, you can do it really quickly. I'm going to hook up my scanner here for a second. I can then just start scanning people straight into my practices and do it pretty quickly and easily. As you'll see right there, I'm just scanning barcodes now that I showed you before on that spreadsheet, and it just starts checking them right into my practices. Okay. The purpose in check-ins is that it allows you to see exactly if the person is a member, see if they need a background check or safe sport, allows you to see their age group they're in, any certifications. That way you can make sure that everyone inside of your club or inside of your practice or event has the proper memberships to be in there and has the proper safe sport training, background checks, to be on the mat coaching, that sort of thing. Okay. A checkout means if you checked them in and they weren't there, I accidentally checked in Dylan Bird and he wasn't here, I could always just check them out of that practice and then they'd be removed from the check-in. Okay. Again, if you saw me add those 8 or 9 people right then, that was just with a little barcode scanner that I got from Amazon that I have. I'll be glad to send you guys. If you email me, I'll send you out the links to what those barcode scanners are so you can check them out. The other part of scanning, as I scan them as I check them into my practice or whatever it was, this demo, they weren't affiliated with my club yet. So as I did that, it went ahead and sent them requests saying, "Hey, I saw you were at this demo event, whatever it was, for this club, and would you like to become affiliated?" So now, just by me checking them into practice, it's already sent them their request to be affiliated with the club so that they can start being a member of the club. Okay. If for whatever reason you have a check-in that you don't need anymore, you can always come over to the red X, remove that check-in. It will remove all the check-in for you. All right. Next one. Next thing we have is schedule. Our schedule. The schedule is set up so that you can set your schedule for practices, for events, for team meetings, for whatever you're wanting to keep up with. And this is going to be able to be emailed out to your club members, as well as you can do all of your check-in functions directly from this screen instead of having to go through the different check-in process of under check-ins. So if I had a national prep camp and I needed to create a check-in, I could create my check-in, boom, hit there, and go right to my check-ins. Okay. Up here at the top, you're able to select and do a search on state, the name of the event, what date the event was. I can search USAW events. That's going to give me all the events in Colorado, for instance. I can start to select those events that I want to go to, and it's just going to drop it right onto my calendar for me. Okay. I can also add non-USAW events, which would be team meetings, team practices, any other organization's events I'm going to, where it was, what the date was, what state it was in. And as I enter that data, it'll allow me to set up my check-ins and set up my schedule accordingly. Okay. If a scheduled event got canceled or didn't need it anymore, I can click the X. It'll take it away for me. All right. The importance of the schedule is twofold. What it does is, one, it helps you keep up with what you're doing, but it shows up on, such as the preseason nationals event. It shows the clubs that are going to be listed that have put them on their schedule, so that if that tournament has information, they can send out to you directly to say, hey, there's construction at the front of the school. Make sure you go around back. Weigh-ins changed. Here's whatever. That allows them to understand who to contact because they know who's coming as far as leadership in clubs are concerned. So that's the other reason for the club schedule. So now, as I go into messaging, I've got the ability to add new emails. So when I'm sending an email out to my club, if I choose all membership types, it goes to all the wrestlers, wrestling leaders, non-USAW members. I can choose to send it to one of the groups. Okay, non-USAW members is going to be added here today, but so I can add it. I can go to wrestlers, wrestling leaders, or I can go to everyone. I can choose what age group I want to send this email to, whether it be 16U. I can always do a search here as well, just in case you guys. Let's say junior. Okay. I can specify the email to go to certain genders of the club. So if I had an all-female tournament that I was sending out information for, I could do so. I would give it a subject line, and then I could type in whatever the message was that I was wanting to send out. Practice is canceled today. And when I send that email, that would go out to all the members of the clubs that fit the criteria that I selected above. Okay, so what's going to happen is that email is going to go out as info@usawrestling.org, but it will be a return. So if they do a reply, the reply to will be your club's email address. Okay, so under your dashboard, when you see your club's email address here, that's the email address that it will be replied to. Okay, but it will come out as info. Under that info account, and using the system this way, we have about a 85% delivery and open rate because it's official. It's coming from USA Wrestling type of thing. And so it's a better way for you guys to make sure your emails are getting delivered, almost a guaranteed delivery with an open. Okay. But then again, if they reply back, it's coming to you guys. All right. Under that email, anything you leave blank, all membership types, all age groups, all genders, it's going to go to everyone in the club. Okay. This is just filtering down the list. But if you leave it blank, it's going to go to everyone that matches that age group, everyone that matches all genders, all membership types. Okay. The messaging is great because that is a way for you to communicate with your club as far as upcoming events, practices are canceled. Hey, we've got new person coming in this week, whatever it is. That's your communication with your members. So currently, under reports, we just have season stats report. As you have a wrestler that is in under your club, any regional or national USAW event they participate in will get logged, and you can see their results or placements throughout their history. So you'll be able to see what they did this year, last year. So for senior level clubs, you'll see their events of the Open, the Trials, Final X, anything of that nature will be in there. For your youth, you've got Fargo, Folk Style Nationals, Regionals, Tour of Americas. All of those results will be in here, as well as your placements and things like that. Okay? So under reports, we just have a dummy report right now. That's your season stats. That does nothing except for looks at the current membership year and it allows you to see their current wins and loss record, if there was any. And what we're looking to do is under reports is to start to build out reports as you guys in your clubs need. Because again, just because you need it in one club, my guess is that there's going to be more clubs out there that need that same reporting. So we're always looking for things. We are already going to add some attendance reports and some reports on check-ins, that sort of stuff to the system. But if you guys have reports out there that you use with your club that you'd like to share, we'd love to get them incorporated in the system and be able to run those stats for you and help you do that within one click of this. Okay. Now, with those results are with our third parties. We have requests out for the third parties, and we're looking for our states as well to start requesting that we are able to pull results from their events. So while right now it's regional and national events, it could go to state and local events as well as we move forward. Okay. Last thing here, um, a new addition that we have coming this week is going to be a safe sports section. So just like you have your wrestlers, wrestling leaders, non USAW members, over here by check-ins, there's going to be a safe sport link, and that safe sport section is going to allow you to record how often you're talking to your team about, to your club about safe sport. It's going to allow you to log the youth safe sport when they take their safe sport courses and they get their certificates. They can bring them to you guys, and you can enter them for us right there into the system, so that we know that they've taken those courses. Because we're going to be running stats to see how many of our youth and clubs are taking part in the youth safe sport. There's also going to be ways for you to report safe sport misconducts within your admin. So there's going to be a whole new section on safe sport sitting within your club admin to allow you to get a better view and to be able to get some more documentation and as well as resources for safe sport that we can pass on to you guys as you're using your club admin. With that, guys, I've covered everything that was to be covered inside of the admin. I would love to hear if you guys have any questions on anything you saw today, or any questions on things that may be coming down the road. Sure. No, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, if you go under your wrestlers tab, you can click to directly send them an email from yourself. But also, the focus of the messaging is to go out to a group. Part of the safe sport is not having one-on-one messages back and forth with coaches and minors and things. And so this kind of helps protect you against that as you're sending out to the group and not to individuals. Yeah. No, the age groups currently are set up with USA, so they're using the USA age groups on that send out. So just remember with that safe sport as well that that only kids that are born 9/1/2002 and later are the ones that have to take the safe sport. That are required to take safe sport. That's your guys who are 17 years or older at the start of this membership year. Um, all of your youth people, it's an option for them and their parents to take safe sport stuff. But we do want to see if those things are getting taken. We want to be able to keep that logged and keep it documented for you guys. And that'll be the age appropriate training as well. That will not be the same stuff that your wrestling leaders are taking in that sort of thing. Okay. Yes, yes, very much so. Yeah, it's age appropriate. So there's a few different levels of it for the youth, for the basically middle, and then the parent as well as the wrestling leader and coaches. Yeah, so high school kids that are required to take it are taking the same course. Those 17-year-olds and above are taking the same course that the wrestling leaders take. Okay, but the ones below the youth, those courses are free, and you can take them and preview them anytime on Say Sports site. So and the Matt.com has Say Sport links uh, for to the training for the kids. So let's see if I can pull that up real quick. Minor athlete education right here. So under the Matt.com Say Sport, there's a minor athlete education link, and that takes you to the Say Sport training for Say Sport for preschoolers, Say Sport for ages for grades K through 2, 3 through 5, middle school athletes, high school athletes, etc. Misconduct in sport and the Say Sport Trained. Does that answer your question there, Jennifer? Awesome, no problem. If you access the Say Sport training through this site, they're going to charge you $20. So make sure you're going through the membership system when you do that for your wrestling leaders, because then it's free for you guys to be able to take, because we take care of that for you. Sure. So we're gonna have this whole we're gonna have the whole thing, the whole webinar, and it's gonna be broken up into the appropriate sections. But Tony's gonna email out the link. But then also we're gonna be featuring all the different individual sections. So if you didn't want to have to watch an hour-long webinar, you could watch the 5 minutes of what you needed. This will be broken up into strategically done videos inside of our FAQ section. So when you go to the site and you go under Help FAQs, they'll also be under here as well. So you'll have them listed here, and Tony's going to send out the link for the whole thing. Okay. Yep. Not a problem. Well, guys, that's all I've got for you guys today. So I'm going to end the call, and then if you guys need anything, feel free to email me at dmathews with 1T at usawrestling.org, or you can contact Tony tblack at usawrestling.org. But expect to see a link from Tony here soon with the webinar and everything else.